So, Dr. Marjan, you've come up with variables to define what an engaged citizen would be or could be. Can you explain to my audience a little bit about that? Because this is all coming from your book.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So as I was doing my research for my thesis, we have in political science, there are different definitions of what sort of political efficacy is and how people have confidence in their government or in their own kind of ability to impact change. And I just didn't feel like that was really satisfactory for me. So I created a definition of what an engaged citizen looks like, and I broke that definition into 5 different variables. And the 5 variables that I think are really important, the very first one is epistemic growth, and that means learning. So, is the platform that you're participating in increasing your knowledge? Are you learning more about the issue? And also, are you learning more about government? So, as a process that involves you in government decision making, are you learning more about the process of decision making, of compromise, of trade offs, and all of that? So, that was the very first variable. The second variable was connectedness. And we talked about this a little bit, is that sense of, as a result of your participation, are you feeling more belonging with your community, whether your community is at the state level or it's in your city? And so this is why, when we always talk about scaling in the United States, because we love to talk about scaling, I actually think that these processes are beautiful because they're in person, because they're small, because they're slow. And because of that, people do foster these relationships and they leave a citizens assembly with a far more closer sort of sense of community. And so that was really important to me as well. The third factor, and everybody loves this one, is the effervescence variable. So I look to see whether people are more excited about their democracy because it's important. You want your democracy, you want your day-to-day interactions with your government to be kind of fun and exciting, and you want to be enthusiastic about it. So that was my third variable. The fourth variable was political engagement. So are you more likely to talk about politics with your neighbor, with your family members as a result of your participation? And then finally, no little surprise, because I do talk about voice quite a bit in the book, is consequential voice. So as a result of your participation, do you actually leave this process feeling like your input was meaningful and your voice is consequential?
Do you think, how can I ask this question? How do you reach those people, not the people that feel like their voices won't be heard? Okay, because we've talked about that. How do we reach those people that just think politics isn't important? How do we teach them, well, politics is important because it affects your everyday life? Well, no, the issues that they're talking about, they don't affect me. Well, you're right. On the major news networks, they don't. But locally, there are some things that's in my area of Washington, D.C., the city that I'm living in restricted a cable company from coming in, digging up the ground and installing lines. So instead of having multiple options for our cable and internet, we were only allowed one choice. That one company had a monopoly. I hated that because I hate that company. I'm not going to say what the company's name is, but I hated it. This was in effect for almost 20 years. And it just changed recently over the last 2 years. That was something that city council had to do, had to fix. And there were people complaining, why do we only have this one cable company? And I was telling them, well, if you paid attention to local politics and pressed the city council, we can get that changed. Some people got it, some people still don't get it. So how can we reach those people that just feel like, oh, it doesn't affect me?
It's hard. I don't think we ever will reach everyone. I think there are some people, and we need to accept this. There is always going to be a percentage of people in society that just don't care and they don't want to be involved. And that's okay, right? I think that's okay. I think what's not okay is the people who don't care and are apathetic because they don't think it matters. And so the way to reach them is, I think, two different ways. One is with every citizens assembly that I've been involved in, There is always a small, not a large percentage, but there's a small percentage of people who come and they say, wow, I have never been invited to do anything like this. They receive the letter, and the letter is an official letter from whatever the government body is, and they've never been asked to provide input. And they will say, I have not voted in 12 years. I've never voted. And I'm here because I'm curious. They're skeptical. I love those people because as a result of the process, they're the ones that really become believers in their democracy. So that's one way. And then there's a spillover effect. So the more we engage with these skeptics and the more we're able to get them involved, the more they're going to go and become ambassadors in their communities and their neighborhoods and tell other people, hey, like you can do something about that line. Don't sit at home. I worked in a citizens assembly. Look, the policy's changing. Look, this is happening. So the more impact they see and they experience, the more they're going to tell other people. And I think as a result, involve other people. So I think it's not an overnight fix. I think it's something that we need to invest in. I think it's something we need to work hard at. But I'm hopeful that if we do the right things and we take the right measures, that over time, the people who are not involved because they just don't think it matters will become involved soon.
If you like that clip, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to catch up on all of our latest content. Don't forget to hit the notifications button when you do subscribe so you can get updated every time we release content. We release content every day, whether it's an actual show or clips from the shows. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Also, don't forget our Patreon page where you can find our Talking Straight-ish and After Hours Uncensored episodes. That's patreon.com/Unsolicited Perspectives. But once again, thank you again for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, and I'm going to catch you next time. I'll holla.